Welcome back again to Apache Kafka series. In the previous video, we have seen how to configure single node, Kafka single node, and then how to connect our consumers and producers, and then produce a message to the single node and then to the single broker, and then consume that message. In this video, we are going to continue with our configuration. So now let me stop the consumers and producers, and then also I'm going to stop the server that I have started, because I started it just using a console. So I'm now stopping the Kafka server, the single broker. Then let's configure the rest of the servers. For example, we have a data directory for our Kafka. And in this Kafka data directory, we have it for Evernode. So let's still see the configuration in our first node, Kafka node 1. Then in the config, we have the server properties. And you can see what we changed here was just the broker ID. Then we open the listener ports. Then we also add the config log directory. Actually, in the first server, we are not going to add anything more because everything is intact. And then also just go to the second broker. Then in this, I'm going to give the ID, broker ID, to 2. Then also I will change this port to 9093. So because the reason why I'm changing this port actually is because I'm testing locally. So I'm just using single one machine, one computer. Otherwise, if you have different servers, you don't have to change the port. You can leave it as it is. The only thing you may change are the broker IDs. So now the log directory, also I'm going to change it to this and to Kafka 2 here. So also for Zookeeper, we are going to add like the Zookeeper addresses. So firstly, I would like it to connect to, in my case, I would like it to connect to Zookeeper 2. The reason why I just want to first is to check Zookeeper 2. If it is not there, then check Zookeeper 3. If it is not there, then check Zookeeper 1. So let it go this way. You can give it in any order you want. It's not a problem. So there is no any hardcore rules here. Let's save it. Then change for the last one. We are also going to change the broker ID here from 0 to, we have changed it to 1, 2. This is the third one. And we also would like to configure this also listener to ports 4, actually 1994. Then we are going to open it. Then we are going to configure our log directory also. So we will use this log directory. Then we are going to add our Zookeeper. So finally, or lastly, we have Zookeeper here. We are going to add the other Zookeeper node. So I would like it to for example, connect first to Zookeeper 3. If it is not there, check 2. If it is not there, then check 1. So these are actually some of the minimum configurations that you may change or that you can configure. But the port, the listener port, is just because I'm testing locally. So now we are also ready. Then we can start our server. In this case, we are going to start it as a daemon. So here I can give a daemon, which means it will start in the background and it will continue running. So server 1 is getting ready. Also, before, I will also like to check server 2 first before starting it as daemon. Let's see if we have any configuration problem. So, or if it works without any problem. So you can, and we'll see that server, yeah, you see, also server 1 found, server 2 found server 1 with ID 1, you see. So this means they are still finding each other. So it means server 1 is on and server 2 can find server 1. So let's close it and set server 2 also as daemon. I just want to see the logs that they found each other. So we are also going to start server, the second broker as daemon. So now they can find each other. Then we are also going to check to see if the third broker find also the other one. So before starting it as daemon, I just want to make sure that they connect to each other. So let's also check it for the third broker. And you see there is a problem. Then you see configure ID doesn't match broker ID. So let's see, maybe we have made some mistake in the configuration of node broker ID 3. So let's see, did we made a mistake? No, broker ID 1, 2, this should be 3. So what is the problem? Let's see what is in other brokers. Maybe we have configured something there wrong. No, this is also broker 2. So then what is broker 3? A broker 1 also is ID 1. So okay, maybe I didn't change the log, right? So let's see of the third broker, the sorry, the log directory. Maybe that was the problem. Let's see the log directory. Have I changed the ID of the log directory? Yeah, you can see in the log directory I mistakenly left it as K2 and it's supposed to be K3. So that was the problem, I think. Let's go back again and see. That is, sometimes if you start as a daemon, it may fail and you may not be aware whether it is running or not until later. So I always prefer to test it first and make sure that everything is working. So you see, now it also found node 1. So it means now they are connecting to each other. You see the broker ID is here. So it's also found the other node. So now we have all the 3 servers running, but I will also continue with it as daemon. So now that I have seen they can connect, then I will start also broker 3 as daemon. Okay, now they are all started as daemon. One thing we are going to do is we are going to connect using our for example our consumer, but in this case I would like to connect to Kafka 2, broker 2, and consume from there. Previously I connect to broker 1, and you see, because I say you should consume from the beginning and I connect to broker 2 directly, you see I even got the previous message that I have published. So because I said it should start reading the messages from the beginning, so even the previous message is now replicated to all brokers. So now all the brokers, they have that one partition that we created in the topic, and they also have the message there. So we can now get the message from any broker. So now I'm connected to broker 2 but I still got the message. And now let me publish from broker 3 instead of broker 1. We have published there. Now I connect to broker 2. My consumer now is in broker 2, but my producer will be from broker 3. So now I can say I am sending, or I'm publishing from broker 3. So publish, and I should get that message. You see, I am publishing from broker 3. So now all our 3 brokers are now up and running, and they are now called a cluster. As you can see, one of the advantage of cluster, you can read the message from anywhere, and the message is replicated, or the partitions are replicated. And now we connect our console producers, and then we also connect our console consumers, and then produce a message, and then consume that message. So these are the local testing way, or local way that you can use to test your configurations. In productions, it might also require some changing of some parameters, but all the properties we change might not be needed to be changed in production. For example, as I said, the port ID, because in production you are going to run them in a single server each, so you don't have to change the port for the listeners. And also but for example, you may need to change the broker ID. In the case of Kafka, you may need to add a my ID file in the case of Zookeeper. So we'll go more into detail on how to configure these properties. But before then, some of the properties you can see here, like the broker ID, log directory, Zookeeper connect. These are what we configure now, the 3. And the auto create topic enabled for now, for example, is true. Default, it's 1. Also, the number of partition is 1 if you are using default configuration, because you are saying if a consumer connect to a topic, or a producer tries to connect to a topic and the connect topic does not exist, the producer or consumer, then now the topic will be created automatically, but it will be created with 1 partition only. So we'll see more into this. In the next video, we'll look deep into producers, consumers, and how to write these things in code, and we are going to write them in Java. So until then, I hope this will also benefit someone out there.